Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and I've got a subscriber who's got a bit of a dilemma that I'll flip that in here. He has a 50-year-old mother. He wants to get her in shape, wants to get her on some free weights, and I think that's admirable. I think most of us who have mothers that are still alive, we would want to get our mothers in the weight room too, now that what we know about weightlifting. He's concerned because she can only really make it to the gym about twice a week. She's been doing body pump, which you guys recall my video with Brittany's experience on that. She wasn't too impressed. And he's concerned that she's got some mobility issues that are going to limit her on big, heavy compound movements right now. So what's he supposed to do? Let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing. That's what I'm going to do. Do a little bit of crafting, and let's talk about this. All right, this is an admirable thing, extremely admirable. And I think most of us agree who have seen the research. Getting everyone in the gym who we love, who we care about, is a good idea. Getting them on some weights, particularly things like our mothers, our grandmothers, our grandfathers, even for some of us. You know, a lot of you who have an elderly family member still alive. Getting these people into the gym when they're older is hard to do. There are some safety concerns with it. There's a lot going on there. But the health benefits are enormous. It's going to improve their quality of life. It's going to extend their life. And it's something, again, all of us should be doing. We should be urging these people to get in and train because it lowers cancer rates, it reduces osteoporosis, reduces diabetes rates, everything. All these things that we don't want to see our loved ones suffer from. And every one of you out there have someone who you love, people you care about besides just yourself. I don't care who you are, there's someone you care about. And if you have a grandparent or a surviving parent, you don't want to see them go through this, or those sort of things. So yeah, getting them in the gym is important. All right, biggest issues you're going to have, yeah, it's got to be mobility in their core. If they're having mobility issues, you're going to need to work on that. Now, fortunately, if she's been doing a body pump class already, that's already really light resistance training. There's just no progression to it, so it's not that great. But that's at least something. What I would recommend first, until you get their mobility and everything sorted, normally I'm not a fan of machines. All right, I am absolutely not a fan of machines. I make fun of people who try and train heavily on machines, and I think there's good reason for doing so. They just don't offer the benefits, the full benefits that free weights do. However, if there's any demographic of people on the earth who machines could benefit, it's going to be the elderly. People who are going to have difficulties and safety issues learning bigger barbell movements. So use those machines. Get them on the machines, teach them to use the full range of motion. You know, some of those machines, like the hammer strength ones, if you adjust them to make them use the full range of motion on every exercise where you build up their core and everything else, you can start working on some of that. You can get them slowly building up their strength, at least in different muscle groups, before you get them over to free weight. So you know what? I don't have a problem with anyone taking their 50-year-old mom and putting her on machines for 6 weeks. Put her on machines. It's okay, nothing wrong with it. In fact, again, you can get a lot of the benefits. Most of the benefits you're going to get from free weights from that. But you will eventually want to transition them. Sorry, getting tongue-tied there. Over to free weights. But the machines are a good start. Next, you're going to need to really, really get their core strong. So that means you need to be helping them train their core every single day. And I don't mean a bunch of sit-ups, because sit-ups can hurt their lower back. It can injure them. They can pull on their neck even, you know, pulling your neck, putting your hands behind your neck, all this stuff. But you could have them start doing planks. You can start having them do band crunches or table crunches like you guys have seen me do or seen Brittany do on video. Standing band crunches are fantastic, though, as far as transferring over to things like the squat and the deadlift, the overhead press. All those standing exercises, those standing band crunches are a fantastic accessory movement. But things like that, and again, get them stronger on planks. All right, you need to get their core strong, because usually what you're thinking of oftentimes is mobility issues on these older people. Their core isn't strong enough. Their abs, their obliques, their lower back, which is the spinal erectors. So doing all that core work, and you know what, maybe have them start doing a little bit of lower back work. How about some cable pull-throughs? Down at the cable station. You can do them with bands, you can do them with cables, but you need to get their abdominals and their lower back stronger. That's going to be an absolute high priority. It's something you need to do when working with these older people, because for many of them that's a problem. But if you can get their abs and their lower back stronger, then they're eventually going to be ready to go over the real barbell movements. So, I mean, you're looking at least 6 weeks of doing it this way. So what you can do, lots of machines, work their whole body through with machines. Remember, you can't push them through bodybuilder type volumes either. So people need to get away with this idea of putting them on a chest day, a leg day, high volume. Look, you need to come in and have them train their full body, 1 or 2 sets per exercise. All right, you don't need more than about 6 exercises. But yeah, you can have them start doing machines till they get strong enough to do other stuff. So examples could be, I don't know, maybe a hack squat machine, maybe some leg curls, right? Hack squats, leg curls, a chest press, some sort of maybe seated row or a lat pull down if they can handle that, and some sort of overhead press. That's all they need. That's going to handle their basics, and then a lot of core work. Once you've gotten them used to doing this, you've built their core up, then you can slowly start incorporating training them on mobility on the big exercises. Start training them for mobility. And you know what? It might take a bigger transition. You might do that for 6 weeks, then start working on their mobility on different exercises using a broomstick or a really light weight to get them towards free weight exercises. But they may be reluctant to go over the free weight. You know what? And that's okay. If it takes you a year of working on their core and getting them on machines before they're ready to try a barbell squat or a barbell deadlift, and you know what? Who cares? You at least have them in there on machines for a year, and you know what? Let's be honest, as much as I love free weight exercises, if you told me, well, you know, all I can do is get my mom on the machine and she's scared to use anything else, be like, okay, well, she won't get all the full body benefits of some of these barbell movements, but what's wrong with the machine? You put her on the machine, she's at least getting resistance training. My only concern is that her spine isn't going to be loaded up enough. You eventually really need to get them to doing deadlifts and things for their spine so that they can load that up and help with that. But most of the health benefits, they're still going to get them from machines. Not going to get as much athleticism, not going to carry over to certain things as much as you would like, but it's going to be 10 times better if they do nothing, because the machines still have resistance. It can still build muscle, it can still build bone density, and that is your primary concerns with these elderly people. It's just going to be hard to get their back where you want it. But if you can do those things, you can stave off the muscle wasting that comes with age. You can stave off the bone demineralization that comes with age. That's going to help keep them from getting as short as quick, particularly if you can get them to the deadlift. But that's, again, it's hard to get a lot of them over to stuff like that. But staving off that loss of bone minerals is going to be important for not only their height, but reducing fractures and hip fractures and everything else. Because once you have someone who's elderly, and your mom is 50, you have plenty of time to reverse this. Once they get up into their 60s or older and they start losing bone mineral density, hip fractures and stuff start to happen. And once you've had an elderly person break a hip, or if they've broken both hips, it is downhill from there. You're going to struggle to get them in shape after that. So it is very, very important that you get them into the gym years before that happens so you can start building that bone density up, because that is really a big one. And like I said, once they've done that, if they break their hips, you may not be qualified to train them after that. You're going to have someone who's an expert and dish out some money to have someone train them correctly at that point. So that's a big one, getting them in there before they start having any of those hip fractures. And like I said, 50, she shouldn't be having them yet, so you got time to work with. But yeah, in addition to all that, you're going to see the reduced cardiovascular disease. You're going to see the reduced diabetes rate. And that one's going to be a big one too. If you've got older family member who's pre-diabetic or even experiencing type 2 diabetes already, get them in the gym, get them lifting weights. You might be able to actually reverse their type 2 diabetes. If you can get their weight in control, their body weight under control, and get them stronger on all the exercises, that's going to improve their insulin sensitivity. In many cases, you're going to be able to get them back off insulin and stuff. So that's really what you should be shooting for with getting these people in the gym. I mean, you're trying to reverse these negative things. And just because they have them doesn't mean it's always too late. If you got, 50, 55-year-old loved one who's developing type 2 diabetes or even has it, yeah, get them in the gym. See if you can get that reversed. That can be life altering for them. And not just about quality of life. but extension of life with a higher quality of living. So that way people are always like, well, I don't want to just live longer. What if you could live longer and feel better while you're living longer? That's a big deal. And I think that's something that all of us would want for all of our loved ones. And that's all the more reason to get them in there. Reverse things like diabetes, reverse osteoporosis. That's really what our goal is with something like this. So getting them in there is going to be important. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.